There we go.
Stand back, stand on the start. Stand on your start.
All right, everybody. So here comes that tram. Please make sure we are behind that red line. Once again, make sure we're behind that red line and do not board the tram until they give you the all clear. Do not board yet. Do not board yet. Not yet. Not yet. All right, it is okay. Car number 1, wait till that gate opens.
Did you see that? I couldn't get in. Yeah, so okay. So that really helps like a nice
The water just comes up here and then you like drive.
That's to the west. You know what we're doing? Oh, wait, Disney too? Oh, no.
Watch out, because like, you'll feel like it. No.
Welcome everybody all aboard the world famous studio tour celebrating our 60th anniversary. Now as you're boarding the tram, do us a favor by scooching all the way to the right hand side, filling in all available space. If you're traveling with any small children today whose feet do not reach the bottom of the tram, just make sure that they're seated towards the center and away from the tram gates. That's for their safety. If we haven't closed those tram gates already, just watch your fingers and toes as we close them. Now we do want to make sure that everybody on board has a pair of these 3D glasses. So if you do not have a pair of 3D glasses, do me a favor, raise your hand right now so that way we can bring you a pair of 3D glasses. Does anybody on board need a pair of these things? All right. I don't see any hands, so that means everybody has these 3D glasses, right? All right, so do me a favor. If you're wearing them right now, you look fantastic, really pulling them off. I just recommend that you don't wear them right now. All right, Jake, we ready to go? Let's do this thing. My name is Emily. I'm going to be your tour guide for about the next 45 minutes to an hour. Jake is your driver. And let's go ahead and get things started with a couple of safety rules. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord, which runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Now the studio is private property, so if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use a restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind on today's tour, and be prepared that our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and water effects. You're going to want to have those cell phones and cameras out for all the great photo opportunities, but just keep an eye on them because we don't want them to get wet. Finally, for your safety and for those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. With that, we're going to get our 60th anniversary tour started with our master of ceremonies, but you might know him as the host of The Tonight Show. Please welcome Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world-famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. Now, on March 15th, 1915, our founder, Carl Laemmle, invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. In the 1960s, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned with the Gray Line bus tours originating in Hollywood with a stop at our gates. And on July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white candy striped glamour trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot. There, the world-famous studio tour was born. You know, we started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastical, one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements, like the burning house, as well as the rock slide. Both of these are elements of the studio tour that existed in this part of the studio we're in now in the 1970s and 80s. Now, you might have noticed a couple of things as we head down the Universal timeline, including some construction over here on your left-hand side. That's for a new roller coaster based on the Fast and the Furious franchise, as well as some movie posters. These movie posters represent just some of the thousands of movies that have been made by Universal Studios in over the 109 years of our history. Now, a lot of these films are on property, including some of our 11 Academy Award-winning Best Pictures, like Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, filmed inside of soundstage number 19. So we're about to see those sound stages here in just a moment as we enter the front lot portion of our studio. Soundstage number 12 is our first one. It's over here off to your left-hand side. This is our largest and most historic soundstage. It's home to these iconic scenes. That's right. Now, each of these iconic set pieces are built inside of soundstage number 12, where they filmed this scene inside of the Visitor Center for Jurassic Park. Portions of Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas were built in the same location, and even this resort pool for the movie Couples Retreat was built inside of soundstage number 12. Speaking of sound stages, take a look off to your left-hand side. You'll get a behind-the-scenes look inside of an actual soundstage as the doors are currently propped open. You see the heavy padding on the walls inside of these sound stages? They help them stay about 98% soundproof, which is great, because when you're recording, you want to, remove as much external sound as possible. Now, there is a chance that we'll pass by some active production today, so we'll be on the lookout for these red lights next to the doors in the sound stages called wigwags. If they're flashing, that means they're currently filming, so I might not hop off the mic. Because they're only 98% soundproof. There's about a 2% chance they're going to hear me, and I am not a part of their production. Now, sound stages 7 and 8 over here on your left-hand side were combined for the TV series Superstore. They built the inside of the Cloud9 Megamark for that television series inside of those sound stages. It's just one of the many things that can be done inside of sound stages, where productions can build interior sets, exterior scenes. Take, for instance, the new series Bel Air. It's currently in its 3rd season, and it's on our streaming service Peacock. It's a dramatic retelling of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They've been filming on our lot, and they also film inside of soundstage number 14. So 14 is home to Bel Air, but also home to scenes in movies like Jurassic Park. If you remember the scene in Jurassic Park where there's a Jeep stuck at the top of the tree and then it crashes all the way to the ground, that scene was actually filmed inside of the soundstage on your left-hand side. It's also where Ron Howard's team for Apollo 13 recreated the inside of Mission Control in Houston. They actually built that inside of the soundstage. This is just one of the many sound stages here in the front lawn portion of our studio that not only is home to epic movies, but also an epic lineup of TV shows at NBC. And on your screen is a quick timeline of some of the most notable titles to come from us over the years. Now, many of these shows, like Coach, The Jeffersons, One Day at a Time, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, filmed inside of the sound stages we're currently passing on your right-hand side, which are currently home to the 2nd season of Based on a True Story, starring Kelly Kuroko. Now, I mentioned that Oppenheimer filmed here. They filmed inside of soundstage number 19, filmed all the Oval Office scenes with Gary Oldman playing Harry Truman. They used the same Oval Office set, by the way, from the HBO series Veep, starring Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It was just repurposed for their production. That was filmed inside of soundstage number 19, which was once home to all 4 seasons of The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. And speaking of Teds, no way! On your left is the not-so-family-friendly teddy bear from the movies Ted and Ted 2, Mr. Theodore Cleverling. What's up, Ted? Nice! Now Ted is welcoming us to the bungalows. These small brown buildings on your left were once home to dressing rooms to stars like Doris Day and Rock Hudson. But nowadays, they're being used as production offices for some pretty high-profile companies and individuals. We have an office here for the writer Kevin Williamson. He wrote the movie Scream. Illumination Entertainment has an office here on property. They are the animation company that brought us the Despicable Me movies, the Minions movies, Secret Life of Pets, as well as the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Mark Platt Productions is over here on your left. They currently are producing the new, highly anticipated movie adaptation of the musical Wicked, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. That's set to come out in theaters November 22nd. We are coming up on some sound stages where they might be filming, so I might need to hop off the mic here in a minute, because they're filming Lopez versus Lopez, as well as St. Denis Medical. Now, Lopez versus Lopez is in its second season. It's George Lopez's new sitcom, which he stars in alongside his real-life daughter, Mayan Lopez. Then St. Denis Medical is a brand new comedy set in a hospital. It's from the creators of American Auto and Superstore, so let's see if they're filming right now. All right, looks like they're taking a break, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to suddenly call action. So we're going to be on the lookout for these red lights next to the doors. So inside of soundstage number 26, there's an interior hospital set built, and then they have the exterior hospital set built in our Metropolitan sets, and that's where we're going to head right now. So what mostly takes place here in the front lot portion of the studio when it comes to filming is a lot of interior filming, and here in the back lot is where all the exterior filming happens. Now this is Brownstone Street on your right-hand side, currently home to a massive set for St. Denis Medical, which you're getting a behind-the-scenes look at that before it comes to NBC this fall. Now this street was also featured in the movie Bruce Almighty. Take a look. Oh, that's where we are.
Oh, you're done now.
We're now going to head into probably the most iconic portion of our Metropolitan sets. We call it Courthouse Square, but many of you might recognize it as Hill Valley.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day,